Hey, I'll talk as loud as I can. A lot of you guys I have heard me speak before. Several of you haven't, so I'm not going to try to deliver it in a whole 10, 15-minute speech here. But what I do want to do is open it up for questions. You know, we're in this runoff phase, and it's going strong. It's going real good, you know, for us, and we're excited about it. We're excited about how many people are turning out and listening. What we're really excited about is how many people are getting involved. You know, we were down in Antlers to be a little over a week ago, and there was a room that was probably twice the size of this, and it was packed. I mean, down in Antlers. And you know, we go around in little meetings all the time, and where they used to have 2 or 3 people, the place is packed because most people are just like me and just like you. They're fed up. I mean, there's no other way to put it. They're absolutely 100% fed up, and they realize that it's time now for us to start getting involved. So to give you a little bit about me, and I'm going to make it as brief as I can. I grew up in Westville, just down the road from here. We ended up graduating from Stillwell. I met my wife in kindergarten. My wife and I have literally been together since 3rd grade. And I had, at the age of 12, I had to make a decision. The only way I was going to keep from having to get up at 3:30 in the morning and go milk was to get a wrestling scholarship and use that as an excuse to go away. And so at 12 years old, I transferred from Westville and went to Stillwell because Westville canceled the wrestling program, graduated in '96 with a full scholarship to go wrestle, and that was great. I had my goal set, made it, let's go. And I get up there and I got hurt, and life changed for me. I came back home, ended up marrying my wife. I convinced her to marry me June 14th of '97. I was 19 years old, she was 18 years old, and I joked about it, but in all reality, I was serious. I thought we knew everything there was about marriage. And in reality, we look back, and it's because we had no idea anything about marriage. I still don't understand marriage, to be honest with you. I don't understand her. I don't. I'm trying. Yes, I do. I do understand her. You just say, I'm sorry often to send flowers as much as possible. And so anyways, I got married on June 14th of '97. I got saved August of '97. Now, I was raised in church my whole life. I was raised Pentecostal holiness. I was the youngest of 7. And I saw brothers of mine and even friends of mine that they went to church on Sunday and they played one way, and on Monday they were completely different, or as soon as we got home they were completely different, just as long as, you know, the mom and dad weren't around. And I didn't want to play that game, and I was very straight with everybody. I went to church out of respect for my parents, but after I got married, I was like, you know, that's not for me. And I gave my heart to the Lord in August of '97, September of '97. I just turned 20 years old, and my dad came to me and said, hey, Markwayne, if you like the family business, you can have it. If not, I'm going to shut the doors and make a living back at home. What had happened was my dad had been real sick in the '90s, and he wasn't able to run the company, and we had bad management, and the management ran the company into the ground and had over $500,000 of debt. $250,000 was immediate past due. The other part was owed or borrowed. Financed everything there was to finance, and we had 6 employees left. And if I understood the challenge that was in front of me, I probably wouldn't have took it on. Because sometimes we're afraid of those big challenges, and I think that's what I hear a lot when I'm going through the district, is so many people say, I think we're too far gone. I think we're too far. I think the country's too far out there. Do you really believe that we can bring it back? And my answer is yes. I understand to a certain degree the challenges in front of me, but I don't believe it can't be fixed. I don't believe for a second that if the right people get involved, that we can't bring this country back to its roots, back to its foundations, back to what's made the country what it is, instead of where they're trying to take us. And 3.5 years later, we got Mullin Plumbing out of debt. And today, we don't operate with debt. We operate on 3 key principles: customer service first, hire, fire right, pay as you go. And we employ over 120 people. We have over 80 trucks on the road, and we're blessed. Absolutely, 100%, the Lord's been good. He's blessed us with 3 wonderful kids. I'm blessed with a wonderful marriage. You have to ask my wife because she's blessed with a wonderful marriage. I think everything's great. I got 3 kids underneath the age of 8. They're all healthy. We live what you would consider the American dream. I mean, truly. But it's going to be really hard for me to think that my kids are going to have the same opportunities that John's kids are going to have the same opportunities that we've had. If we don't really start making the tough decisions today. I had to make a lot of tough decisions back then to be able to move forward. I had to make some uncomfortable decisions, some unpopular decisions I had to make to be able to move forward. And now today, Mullin Plumbing is the largest plumbing service company in the state. We don't carry any debt. We provide jobs. We're building this economy with jobs that we're putting into it. Yet, what I have to fight against every day is this own government. I have to fight against regulations. It's not the employees that's going to put me out of business. It's not the customers that's going to put me out of business. It's not the matter that I can't manage the company that's going to put me out of business. It's that how much more regulation can the company take? How much more can we continue to be put on our plates and still be competitive? Right now, I spend over 40 cents on every single dollar that comes in the company to comply with regulations. When I first started saying that over a year ago, I was getting questioned and people were saying, I think that's probably fudging a little bit. You're talking about taxes too, aren't you? No. No, I'm talking about overhead. That's what it costs. And then a few months ago, a report comes out from our government that says it's costing small businesses $1.7 trillion annually to comply with regulations, and we're only bringing in $1.4 trillion in taxes. And it made my point. I didn't have to have that report to tell me what it was costing me. At what point do we say enough is enough? At what point do we wake up and say, I'm all in? I'm willing to go up and give everything I have for a set period of time. And I'm so tired of the argument that comes back to me that says, what makes you think you can do it? You don't have any political experience. What the heck is a representative? A representative is supposed to represent because he knows our issues, not because he knows the system. A representative is supposed to go up there and start representing us from day one, not because we've come in there and sat in his office for 15 minutes and cried our heart out and trying to get him to understand a problem that we have. A representative comes from the people. That's what a representative is. And we have been brainwashed with the thing that they've got to be politically connected somehow, that they've got to have political experience to get anything done in D.C. Well, if that was the case, then so many people would never go in business. Right? I mean, at 20 years old, was I an expert plumber? I can answer that one. No. I dug a lot of dishes and fixed a lot of stuff, but I wasn't an expert plumber. I mean, if that was the case, I could never start our service company or our environmental company that we have. There's so many businesses out there that would never get started if you had to have an expert degree in it before you started. How many people graduate from college all the time with a business degree? You don't see them all being self-employed. Guys, a representative comes from us. And we got to be willing to step up and say, okay, I'm going to support you. Okay, I'm going to help you. Okay, I'm going to stand with you. And instead, sometimes we try to put our hands off on it. It's kind of arm distance. I don't know this guy. He's not proven. I don't know this guy. I don't know how he's going to vote. Look at their lives. A representative comes from the people, right? Look at their lives. Look at the people that know them. Make your decision and get behind them when they're running. And I am absolutely floored and completely humbled by how many people who didn't have a clue who I was, didn't know anything about me because I didn't have a voting record, jumped on board and has been all in. For those that are here, I want to tell you thank you. I'm not going to mention all the names, but I want to tell you thank you. I've woke up every day for 15 years not wanting to disappoint my wife because she has supported me so much. And I truly wake up every day now, not just not to disappoint her, but not to disappoint you all too. If I have you putting so much effort into it, the last thing I want to do is give you a reason to doubt it. But I'll also have to make sure that you guys hold me accountable. I believe wholeheartedly that we're going to win this race. Completely. I've said from day one, no one's going to outwork us. If they're willing to work 16, I'll do 18. If you're willing to work 18, I'll do 20. I was asked, how long can you keep this pace up? I said, I've always done it. I've always done it. But I also have to make sure that you guys keep me grounded. Ask me questions. Hold me accountable. I have a leadership team that's in the company. The only reason we're successful to the part that we are is because I have a great leadership team. They hold me accountable and I hold them accountable. The only way we're going to be successful in this is that you guys have to be involved, stay involved, and hold me accountable. If I'm able to earn that, then you guys also need to defend me. Because people say politics is dirty. It's really hard to understand it until you're in it all the way. It don't have to be a lick of truth. They just got to think it. I mean, unless you're speaking clean like John, there's nothing on it. But anyways, that's a little bit about me, a little bit about why I'm in the race. I want to answer any questions you guys have. Don't be shy. I mean, I've got, well, honestly, I don't got a next meeting until 7 o'clock in the morning in Oklahoma City, so I'm good. I've got all night. And I've had coffee, so I'm warming it up. I want to ask all of one. I feel like we've got to set it in, like an auctioneer. We've got the pie, we're going to go for $50. Is there no questions?
I'll ask you a question. Why the three terms?
Why 6 years? And I do get asked that question. In fact, I was in a guy today. I've got to tell the story since Trevor asked that. I had a guy today, actually right before I drove here, a guy today lit me up for probably 15 minutes. When I say lit me up, he let me have a part of my ear left. And about my 6 years, he was just grilling on me. Why? And I was explaining to him, and at the end of it, he says, just because you sat there and took it, I'll give you $1,000. And I thought, I'll do that every day. Anyways, 6 years really comes down to this. My first responsibility outside the Lord is my family. And I'm going to have my oldest boy, who is 8 years old today, is going to be 15. And I know a school can teach them education, I understand that. Education also be taught at home, I understand that. But a work ethic, I feel, has to be taught at home. And it has to be taught through example more than just, son, go do that. And an education without a work ethic, to me, is absolutely pointless. I have people coming to my office all the time with the education, and they feel like because they spent 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, or 8 years in college, that now it's time for easy street. It's time for them to be able to sit back at the desk. It doesn't go that way. With responsibility comes more work. With responsibility comes more demand for your time. And there's been a lot of successful men and women out there that have great careers and they lost their family, and tell me, what have you got? I mean, what have you got? If you lose your family, what in the world do you have? You don't have anything. I mean, come home, my family's not there. What's the point? I'm giving you 6 years, and I'll be all in for the 6 years.